Hey guys, welcome back. So today we are diving into One World Under Doom issue number 2. Let me tell you, this issue is wild. We got world domination, mind games, Fantastic Four shenanigans, Doom flexing on everybody, and a crazy twist at the end that nobody saw coming. If you thought Doom was just some power-hungry dictator, this issue makes it clear he's playing 4D chess while everyone else is still reading the instructions on checkers. So, quick recap. Doom straight up blessed the world, in his own words, by making all nations a part of his united Latveria. Existing leaders, still in place, but only if they follow the wisdom of Doom. And of course, Earth's heroes were not having it. They stormed Latveria thinking they'd put a stop to him, only to find themselves outplayed at every turn. But Doom ain't stopping. He's out here winning hearts and minds, convincing regular people that he's the savior they've been waiting for. And that's where we pick up in this issue. Alright, so first scene. We're in Arizona, home away from home for the Fantastic Four. And man, Ben Grimm, the thing is heated. My guy is straight up pacing, throwing down the classic blue collar wisdom. Like, it just ain't tolerable, and that's all there is to it. But Reed? Oh, Reed's in big brain mode, already figuring out a way to take Doom down. He's been digging into Doom's new schools, and get this, the curriculum? Completely normal. No mind control, no secret agendas, just straight up, well-funded, high-quality education. Even Reed is impressed, but Ben's not buying it. Doom's always planning something, and as usual, he's probably right. Then we jump into some classic Fantastic Four hero work. A car plunges off a bridge, and the team jumps into action. Reed stretches himself into a parachute. Ben catches the car mid-air, and Johnny provides an invisible bridge lit up with fire so the survivors can walk to safety. And that's when they hatch a plan. Humiliate Doom. If they can't beat him in a straight-up fight, they're gonna make him look weak. And nothing embarrasses Doom more than getting clowned in public. And guess what? They know exactly where to do it. Tomorrow morning, Doom is making a global broadcast from the United Nations. The whole world will be watching. Perfect time to expose him. Meanwhile, we cut to Valeria Richards. Yes, Reed and Sue's daughter. And she's sneaking off to meet Dr. Doom himself. Now, if you don't know, Doom loves Valeria. She's his goddaughter, and he respects her way more than he respects most people. And this scene is peak Doom. Doom says Doom is pleased to see how punctual his goddaughter can be. Valeria says, "Thanks for agreeing to meet me." Doom says, "I was expecting more resistance from the Baxter Building security systems. I did not even need to employ magic. Your influence, I suppose." Valeria responds saying, "You are both unopposed and unrecorded. I coded you as a member of the family, but anything human would set off alarms. So, welcome, Princess the Pooch." Doom says, "Clever." Doom takes no insult, as none was intended. Nor, I will add, have I done anything untoward while inside your building. Just as you gave your parents your word, you were coming to New York for Bentley's 23. Was it? Bentley is her friend from the Future Foundation. Valeria says, "A lie of omission, not a fabrication. I will meet him when we're done. But you and I don't play those games with each other, do we? We give each other the truth." Doom says, "We do. You are a young woman who has already exceeded the high expectations I set for you at birth. You hold Doom's favor, Doom's respect, and Doom's love. Few have experienced the merest taste of any, and none have ever possessed all three. I keep no secrets from you, Valeria, and I shall continue to do so." Valeria says, "Then give me the truth, Uncle Doom. Make me understand. Tell me exactly what you are planning." Doom says, "Why tell, Valeria, when I can show?" Doom then uses teleportation to move them out of the Baxter Building and onto the streets of New York City. Valeria says, "Amazing. How are we?" Doom says, "Valeria, you travel with the Sorcerer Supreme. My magic has grown. Our presence here shall not be noted. We are at the site of municipal government in a minor Canadian city. It is a symbol of suffrage, pluralism, and representational governance such as it is. Justify it. Justify municipal government, Valeria asks. Doom says, no, Valeria, democracy. This one, anyone, it does not matter. Defend democracy to me. Valeria says, okay, I defend it by looking at the alternatives. Consider a world without collective action, without government of any kind. Everyone is fighting for their own self-interest, without rules, without organization, without a way to stop bad actors. Doom says, precisely, Valeria. That's it precisely. You impress me even now, getting to the heart of matters right away. In anarchy of individuals, there is no authority, no control. Opportunities lost over and over again, as power comes only from strength, with the alliance forming and breaking out of mere self-preservation. It is chaos without room for morality. It precludes progress, and you rightfully refuse to accept such a system. Why then, if you reject anarchy at the level of the individual, do you accept it at the level of nations? Until Doom, our world was a confusion of 200 competing nations. Valeria, each fighting and scheming for their own self-interest with no authority to bend those impulses to useful ends. It was the very definition of anarchy, and by your own admission, it should never have been tolerated. Valeria says, that may be how you sell it to others, but I know it's not how you justify it to yourself. Don't tell me you're doing this for humanity, and don't say you're doing it for me. The truth, Uncle Doom. Doom says, the truth, Valeria Richards, is simple. It has always been simple. I seek glory. There is no greater motivation, no greater proof that my efforts are sincere. In uniting the world, I've already done what others have long said was impossible. Valeria says, but these changes you've made, you've done it without consideration for freedom, for consent from the governed. Imposing your rule on people is just fascist. Doom says no. Fascism builds its foundation upon a lie, Valeria. My rule is found upon a truth. That Doom is the best of us and only one qualified to achieve this great unification. Valeria says, I'm sorry, but I can't follow you there. A claim like that, you need proof. Doom cuts her off and says, which is why I am working very quickly to prove it to the world, to earn its consent, including from you, Valeria. Doom hopes he will convince you. Valeria says, I don't know whether or not to say that I hope so too, Uncle Doom. Doom says, and let my actions draw you toward your own conclusions. Doom then uses magic to send Valeria back to the Baxter building. So to break that down, instead of just telling her his plan, he teleports them to a Canadian government building and challenges Valeria to justify democracy. And Valeria, she holds her own. She lays out how democracy prevents chaos, how it stops bad actors, and how it allows collective action. But Doom flips it on her. He says, if you reject anarchy at the level of the individual, why do you accept it at the level of the nation? He's calling the entire world an anarchy of nations, and he's saying that he alone is the authority that can bring it to order. The next morning, Doom's United Nations broadcast begins, and he's flexing hard. Doom says, today, Doom offers you his next boon. We are a united Latveria, and we shall henceforth and forever act like it. It cannot be, and thus it never was, ethical to forever treat someone as lesser simply because they were born on the wrong side of an imaginary line. No longer shall anyone be made to suffer from the accident of their birth. Doom consigns this idea to history, to motor alongside slavery and other abominations of human ingenuity. You may live and work in whatever nation you choose. All shall have free movement, from anywhere to anywhere. I give you the gift of open borders. Doom says, Doom has given you schools to improve your minds. He's given you hospitals to improve your bodies. And now Doom gives you freedom. Go where you want. Go where there is opportunity. Move freely. And remember that While any of your leaders could have granted you these freedoms, only Doom chose to. Only Doom made this happen, and only Doom can save you. So Doom is saying he's given the world education, healthcare, and now he's about to give them open borders. He is erasing national barriers. People can live and work wherever they want. And Doom ain't just making promises, he's already doing it. Meanwhile, outside, the Fantastic Four is busting through Doom's security. But when they finally break in, Doom already knew they were coming, and he pulls his biggest move yet. Doom continues his broadcast to the world. He says, "Know this, Fantastic Four. These are civilians, ordinary people who happen to believe in what I am doing. They don't live in fancy towers as you do. They don't have a second home as you do. These are merely the great mass of men and women you've sworn to protect. Will you attack them, Richards, here in the United Nations? Or perhaps you'll try to crush their weapons in your force fields, Susan, just as you did to the security outside. Before you do, know this. Their weapons are rigged to explode if tampered with, or if removed from their hands unwillingly. You'll kill them all." The people with guns pointed them at Johnny. Johnny says, "Can you see he's tricked you? He's using you as pawns. Before he can finish, Doom says, "No, Johnny. These patriots knew fully well how these weapons operated before they picked them up, such as their commitment to their belief in the cause of Doom. Tell me, will you respect their rights, their vision of a better planet? Will you kill them to bring about yours? Answer quickly, Richards. These choices you're making, they are being broadcast." Reed says, "Victor, obviously we won't." But Doom says, "Good. Then I see my mercies letting you live in this better world was not misplaced." But Doom's mercy goes further than even you can imagine. Behold Benjamin Jacob Grimm, the powerhouse of the Fantastic Four, a man by error and ineptitude transformed into a monstrosity, a being so hideous he calls himself the Thing. Ben says, "What is he?" But before he can finish his sentence, Doom says, "And behold, Reed Richards, our self-proclaimed smart man, who has failed to reverse Grimm's condition ever since. It is a staggering failure, a highlight remarkable even among the litany of disappointment of Mr. Fantastic." Ben says, "Don't listen to him, bud. I ain't mad at you anymore, and I ain't been for years. I made my peace with this, you understand? I like who I am now. It's like I tell my kids, it don't matter what you look like, it only matters who you are." Reed says, "Victor." Doom says, "But Doom wants what's best for everyone, even for his most hated enemies. These four accuse me of weakness, of anger, of greed, and yet, and his strength, and his greatness, and his generosity, Doom now grants what Richards never could." Doom then casts a spell at Ben Grimm. We see that Ben Grimm is turned back into a human. Doom says, and thus, Doom cures unfortunate Ben Grimm of his condition forever. Ben says, "What did he do to me?" Reed, "I ain't got my powers no more. I ain't got my powers." Johnny gives Ben a hug. Doom says, "Doom leaves you now. I presume the Fantastic Four will pay for their damages to the United Nations building. If not, detain them. End transmission." So Doom has turned the people against the Fantastic Four. Regular citizens armed, standing between Doom and his enemies. And the worst part, they're willing. These people believe in him. Doom tells the Fantastic Four, "Are you going to kill these civilians just to get to me?" And then, for the final gut punch, Doom turns to Ben Grimm, the Thing, and cures him. Turns him back into a human. Reed never figured it out, but Doom just did. And Ben is shook. Doom walks away, untouched, with the Fantastic Four left completely humiliated. And outside, people aren't mad. They're cheering for him. An interviewer asks people what they think of Doom, and there are various responses in favor of him. One person says, "Was the old way working? Honestly, was it? At least Doom's getting results. Another person says, I like how he killed those Nazis. Another person says, tearing down the Berlin Wall was this global celebration, but somehow tearing down every other wall is bad. I don't see it. I can leave. Understand? For the first time in my life, I can leave. Yeah, Doom's a fascist. He's a bad guy. Blah blah blah. Heard it all a million times. What I haven't heard is one reason why I should feel bad about that when I'm doing better right now than I ever have before. And he's fixing the vampires next. We then see the Avengers, consisting of Captain Marvel, Sam Wilson Captain America, Scarlet Witch, Storm, Thor, Vision, and Iron Man. Captain Marvel points out that the Avengers are losing. She says, we are losing because we don't know what we're fighting. We've been assuming mind control on the part of the world leaders, given the speed and efficiency of Doom's overnight takeover, but we don't know, which is why I'm proposing a two-pronged attack to find out. A wing of magic users and espionage experts, led by the Scarlet Witch, will infiltrate all the capitals they can, get close to their leaders, and discover how Doom got them to go along with this. The Scarlet Witch says, assuming they're not already Doombots, we will free every leader we can from Doom's influence, thereby cutting off his international support from under him. Captain Marvel says, but an operation of this scope will require a distraction, which is why at the same time, the rest of us are bringing the fight to Doom. To end this while we still can and while most of the world still supports us. Iron Man says, he's beat us before. Captain Marvel says, not physically. We've had PR losses, not real ones. I assure you we are more powerful than Doom, even if he's Sorcerer Supreme. Besides, we won't be going in with just the Avengers and just the Fantastic Four. What's left of them anyway? Poor Ben. What's happening here is huge and it's global. As such, it transcends many of our old differences, which means, Avengers, that we now find ourselves with an unconventional group of allies. We then see the Masters of Evil. MODOK says, hey ya Tony, welcome to the Masters of Evil. So the Avengers have teamed up with the bad guys. That's how desperate things are getting. And that's where this issue ends. This event is heating up. Doom is playing the long game. He's not just taking over, he's making the world want him to be in charge. And now, the heroes are scrambling just to keep up. So yeah, One World Under Doom #2. It's a good issue. Let me know in the comments, is Doom actually making the world better? Or is this all just one big power grab? And don't forget, like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next breakdown. Alright everyone, stay dope. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.